What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is June 14th of 2023. I'm here back in New Jersey once again. We have two targets on the list today, Warmouth, and once again, I said I probably wasn't going to try and go for Bowfin, but we're going to see if we can find a Bowfin around the area today. I got my trout set up with me right now. This is going to be used to target warmouth and then eventually bait fish for the Bowfin, but really weedy in here, so we'll see if we can even get a lure in the water here without getting snagged up. So we'll see how today goes. Not sure if we're gonna have much success because there's plants literally everywhere. A lot of fish are going to be hiding in this stuff, but we'll see if we can find some open water and get some fish on the board. So stick with it and stay tuned, and hopefully today we can have a good day of fishing and get two new species, the Warmouth, which is a species of sunfish, and the Bowfin, which is a prehistoric looking fish. Alright guys, well that didn't take long at all. I just caught one of my target species. I just dropped the trout magnet right in the pile of weeds and I got my first ever warmouth. Let's back up so he doesn't flop in the water somehow, and we'll take a picture of this guy and get him released. I just literally dropped the trout magnet in and bam, instantly. So that's really cool. That makes the trip worth it. That's a new species for me. So that's one check mark off the list. Alright, so far all we've been doing is taking this little trout magnet here and just casting it out into the open holes where there's not any plant vegetation, and then just slowly jigging the trout magnet. And I've gotten a couple bites, only the one warmouth, but I've only been fishing for like 5 minutes, so still plenty of time for another warmouth to show up. There's fish. Let's see what we got here. Another bluegill. That one's decent bait size too. I'll probably take 2 or 3 to use for bait. I probably won't need much more than that. So this guy is probably gonna be bait too. Just a little bluegill. Alright guys, got ourselves a little bluegill here on the trout magnet. This guy is gonna end up being bait for Mr. Bowfin later, so we're gonna hang on to him, and then when it's time to catch the Bowfin, we'll circle back to our car, grab the big boy rods, and find a spot to set up camp. So nice little bluegill there, but he's going to be bait. All right guys, got another weed dweller here, another beautiful warmouth. Just take a look at that guy. Got a little orange and purple on the opercular flap there. Nice iridescent green on the sides. Let's take another shot of this guy just to have another sample, and let's safely release this guy. Beautiful fish. Alright guys, last look at our warmouth there. He's about to go back into the water, back in the weeds, into his home. Cool, so that's 2 warmouth and 2 bluegill so far today. Let's see what else we can get. Figuring out the pattern in these warmouth. There's another one. This one's smaller than the last one, but still a pretty cool fish. Got a little more brownish color on this one, but we'll take it. Look at this guy. That's a good looking warmouth right there. Another decent sized one. I'm not sure how big they get exactly, but first time ever catching these, so I'm happy with any warmouth I get. They got big mouths, so you can see why they're called warmouths. I don't believe these are native to New Jersey. I believe they are an invasive species, but they're pretty much here to stay. In this lake, they'd be all over the place with all this vegetation, so we're just going to take a shot of this guy and send him on his way. Well guys, it's not a warmouth and it's not a bluegill. I came out to this little creek here just beyond the lake and Got ourselves a little largemouth bass. Not exactly a trophy, but we'll take it. Another species for the day. So that puts us at 3. We're gonna go ahead and get this guy unhooked, and then we're gonna let him go. All right, guys, the little largemouth is released, and he's gonna go back in the water here. He's good to go. You got my line a little tangled up, but it's all right. Holy cow, guys! Look at the size of that warmouth. I was punching that pile of weeds and that log there, just the hole in between, and this big old warmouth came out and smoked the trout magnet. I missed him the first time. I dropped him back in there, and look at that beast. That is a beautiful fish. We're gonna go ahead and take a shot of this guy, and then we're gonna let him go. New PB warmouth. I've only started catching warmouth today, but that is a gorgeous fish. All right, guys, our warmouth is unhooked here. That one's got a bit of a belly on him. He's been feeding pretty good, so we're just gonna go ahead and let him go right back around where he came from, right between those weeds and that log there, and he is good to go. Well, I'm glad I came out to the creek here and tried that out, because that was an awesome catch. Our bowfin spot is around here somewhere, so we're gonna walk, scope that out, and then we're gonna come back with the rods and hopefully set up for some bowfin if they're around. Here, guys, another bluegill from the lake here. This is probably going to be our 3rd and final bait fish. Probably won't need any more than 3 for what I'm going to be doing in the time that I'm going to be doing. Yesterday, or not yesterday, the last time I tried to go for bowfin, I ran out of bait, but I think 3 should be good enough that it will last us long enough where we can hopefully get a bite from something. So this will be our final sacrifice. We'll make everything else is just going to be released back into the water. All right, guys, we made it to the spot we're going to set up for bowfin. I got my 6'6" St. Croix Triumph travel rod. This is a 4-piece medium heavy rod. I got a Penn Battle 3000 on here, 17-pound monofilament line, and then I got a little barrel swivel tied on there with the egg sinker just above it, and then a little about 5-6 inch leader of 17-pound monofilament line again, and then a circle hook there, and that's what we're going to be using to try and target the bowfin. The hook I have on there might be a little big, but it should still be able to be lodged into a bowfin's mouth. So we're going to cast it out here kind of in the middle. That's probably where it's going to be the deepest, and then we're going to do my other rod, which is also a 6'6" St. Croix medium heavy Triumph, except that one's only 2-piece, so we're probably going to cast that one over here, and then this one we're going to go out in the middle right in front of us here. So we're just going to lob this out there. Probably would help if I opened the bail. All right, lob that out there. All right, should be good. We're just going to let it sit there for a while, and hopefully a bowfin cruising along the bottom is going to come out and grab that. We're going to loosen our drag, that way the fish can take some line a little bit if need be. And we're going to set it down in our little rod holder here and wait for that to get a bite. And we're going to do the same thing with our other rod, but put a little bit of a smaller piece on there and a smaller hook and cast it out that direction. Well, guys, we got something on. I think it's a stupid turtle though. Yep, stupid snapping turtle. Look at that big ugly thing. I'm after a bowfin, not a snapping turtle. Well, guys, I think I missed my first actual bite from a bowfin. I had this rod get taken and immediately it started swimming that way a little bit. There's a chance it could have just been a turtle putting on the turbo jets, but I think I missed a fish on that. So it's a good sign of life, which is what I need right now. After that snapping turtle, it kind of brought back flashbacks to how my send for bowfin ended last time. So As long as there's something fishy around here, that gives me all I need to continue on. All right, guys, starting to sprinkle a little bit here, but that is not going to stop me from fishing. It's been about an hour since I've gotten baits in the water, and I had the snapping turtle and one other thing that started taking the bait, but don't know what it was. Could have been a turtle, possibly. Could have been the fish we're after. Not really sure. I still got some fresh bait, so I'm gonna put new bait out there, get a fresh scent in the water, and hopefully we'll get some fish. Oh no, not again. This one's even bigger. Another stupid snapping turtle took the bait. Can you see that? Look at the size of that thing. Oh my gosh. Alright, I had another bite on the cut bait, but whatever it was, it got off. It was moving fast, so it was definitely a fish. It was not a turtle that time. I'm gonna keep one rod out for cut bait, and I'm gonna switch to a frog or some sort of topwater, probably a frog, and see if I can get any strikes on that. I haven't seen any recently, but a few fish came up to get a gulp of air on the surface, so I'm gonna toss a frog around and see if I can get any fish. I know there could be some snakehead in here, and bowfin have been known to hit topwater frogs, so I'm gonna tie on a frog and see if I can have any luck while this rod hopefully gets taken by a fish who actually wants to take the hook with it too, and not just the bait. So as we begin our wait again, we shall toss around a lure. Just had something big, a fish, just completely gut this piece of bluegill cut bait. So I had a J hook on there to make things easier to eat and then set the hook, but looks like I'm gonna need a circle hook on these because I'm just not fast enough apparently to catch the bites. Whew. Thankfully I got it out, but another snapping turtle just had this piece of bait in its mouth as I was reeling it in, all chewed up. Probably doesn't have much of a scent anymore, so we're gonna just toss that over there and use that to chum the water. Hopefully the snapping turtle will take that instead of the bait that's on my hook. So we're gonna get another piece of cut bait out there. Hopefully Mr. Bowfin will come out and play. Well guys, my last piece of bait, I was hoping for a bowfin, but we got another one of these stupid turtles. You see him swimming there? Thing is massive, and he does not want to come up. All right, buddy. He wants no parts in this. All right, you really want to be that difficult? Oh, did I put my scissors in my bag? I did. All right, hold on, turtle. Give me a second. Give you some line to chew on. All right, Mr. Turtle. It's me or you, and it ain't gonna be me. Line has been cut, and turtle is going back in the water. That's frustrating. My last piece of bait gone to a turtle. Well, that is probably going to do it for today. Did not get the bowfin we were after. Had at least 2 takes from a fish I didn't get a good look at it, so I can't say whether or not they are bowfin or not, but they were definitely moving fast enough to be fish and not turtles. So 4 snapping turtles, 0 bowfin, 0 fish from this little creek here, except for the little largemouth bass and big old warmouth, we call it. But not a terrible fishing adventure overall. Like, we caught 5 or 6 warmouth, 3 bluegill, and the 1 little largemouth bass, and caught 4 snapping turtles, which isn't great, but it's something on the end of the line. So, you know, we'll be back for the bowfin probably in spring. I know that's what I said last time, and here I am targeting bowfin again. But this time, I mean it for real. Not coming back until next spring to catch these bowfin. Maybe the fall, if there's some around in the fall, but around the spawning time is probably one of the easier times to catch them, as far as I'm aware. So that'll probably be when we'll be out to target them next. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors.